You know what tickles my funny bone? Skeletons. They are everywhere in video gaming and they come in all shapes and forms. Usually a basic enemy in games for players to whack at, however there are a select few skeletons who are destined for more. Some being friendly buddies to help you on your journey, or others who are there to show you a bad time in a form of a boss. No matter what their role in a game, they are a beloved figure in video games. And today on Ramune's Top 10, we will be looking into the top 10 boners in video game history. Skullman makes his first appearance in Mega Man 4. He is one of the robot masters who Mega Man has to defeat to progress the game. This technically is a robot, but I mean just look at the design. It screams skeleton and it's awesome. It's one of the better designed robot masters in the whole series for me. Not only this, but he has a really cool weapon called the Skull Barrier. The Skull Barrier will protect the user by summoning 3 skulls to surround the player, blocking oncoming attacks. I have always been a fan of this one, so I have to put it on the list. However, due to the fact it's technically a robot and not a skeleton, I had to put it low on the list. Here's another odd choice for this list, Mumbo Jumbo. From the BanjoKazooie games, Mumbo Jumbo is someone Banjo can rely on throughout the games. His main thing is to transform Banjo into something else like a bee or even a washing machine to help Banjo get the jiggies in the game's levels. In BanjoKazooie, however, you could also take control of Mumbo Jumbo and go fix problems in the world directly to help Banjo out. I have been a huge fan of this series for a long time, since I was a young boy, so I have liked this character for a long time. I have to put him low on the list, however, for similar reasons to Skullman, and that's because he's not really a skeleton. He's a shaman who wears a skeleton skull on his head, but let's be honest here, he has a skeleton vibe, so it counts. Next on the list, believe it or not, is an actual skeleton. Coming from the series Castlevania, which has been popular for a long time, from the NES generation all the way to the current generation. It's a series known for its dark theme and great level design. One of the enemies is a normal skeleton who throws a bone at you from a distance to try to kill you. However, this is not the skeleton that makes the list, oh no. The skeleton that makes the list is none other than Death himself. That's right, Death. Castlevania has been known to have some crazy bosses in its time, from giant lions to even giant dragons. However, one reoccurring nightmare of a boss is Death. Death is a boss I personally struggle with every time I encounter him. Known for attacking mainly with miniature scythes or his giant scythe, he is quick to attack the player, leaving them little time to maneuver. What makes the fight even more frustrating is the fact that you can usually freely float around the room, making it hard to hit him while dodging his attacks. He is a fearsome skeleton if I ever did see one. I mean, he is literally Death. This enemy isn't something you would expect from a colourful and bright game. However, the games usually take a dark turn when you head into Boo's mansion or a castle stage. Inside, the player will be introduced to one of the more horror-esque enemies in the Mario series, known as Dry Bones. Dry Bones takes the form of a dead Koopa Trooper who has been brought back to life by Bowser's magic. They aimlessly waddle around trying to kill Mario, but like normal Koopa Troopers, they can only walk left and right on a single platform. However, the difference between Dry Bones and normal Koopa Troopers is if Mario stomps on their head, after a few seconds, they will revive again, making it quite challenging when you have to go past certain ones for objective reasons. Maybe you missed a coin or you had to go through somewhere to press a button and then have to make it back to the door. Not the most exciting of skeletons on this list, but I feel they have become very iconic in gaming history. Doubtfuss have been around in the Zelda universe since the beginning. They are first introduced as a basic skeleton enemy in the first dungeon where they just scuttle around. Later on they get harder, gaining the ability to shoot swords at Link. In Zelda 2, Adventure of Link, they are much more fearsome enemies due to the nature of the game, having the ability to even strike down like Link. My favourite version of Doubtfuss, however, have to be the 3D appearances in games like Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask. In these games, Doubtfuss act differently. They are harder to combat, having their trademark shield help to block the attacks that Link may use. This makes it hard because the player actually has to time their attacks and how well they dodge in order to defeat one. It really just helped me appreciate how great skeletons are and how great combat can be in Zelda games thanks to C targeting. Time for probably one of the unluckiest skeletons in video game history. The story goes that the mighty Sir Daniel rode into battle to defeat an evil necromancer. However, in truth, the mighty Sir Daniel was the first to die in battle. I like this concept, as time and time again I see in TV shows and films, a leader rides in first in an all-out war, only to walk away with a few scratches. Anyways, I digress. After being slain in an embarrassing way, he is resurrected by accident by the evil necromancer he sought to defeat. Having revived, he takes this chance to redeem himself. There is just so much character in what you would expect to be a lifeless character. I just love it to bits. The concept is cool, and I mean, look at him. He is just plain awesome. That is why he makes the list as the first fully playable skeleton character. I'm pretty sure Neo doesn't really need much introduction, being the first undead lord who finds a lord soul at the dawn of the Age of Fire. He, along with the other lord soul bearers, waged war upon dragons. Neo is just plain cool. He is a mass of skeletons shrouded in darkness, which makes a huge entity. His sole purpose in life is to spread death. However, how can there be death without life? Well, Neo has a plan. He deals the final blow to the undying dragons so the other lords can spread life so that he could spread death. This character has such a cool backstory and lore that it would be hard for me not to put him on the list. Cool looks, check. Great lore, check. Badass, check. He just ticks all the right spots for me. If it wasn't for the nature of Dark Souls and how hard it is to determine the story and lore, he might have gone higher on the list. Murray is a great skeleton, skull. First introduced in Curse of Monkey Island, he is one of LeChuck's undead army. However, after an unfortunate accident, he loses his body, leaving him as just a lonely head without a body. But this doesn't stop good old Murray, oh no. He still finds a way to terrorize other people, especially Guybrush Threepwood. He is the sort of comic relief character for the series, having appeared in almost every game after Curse of Monkey Island. I used to love just running into him in funny situations or trying to see what actions I can perform around him just so I could see his reactions. One of my favourite things about Murray, however, is wondering how he manages to move about so freely without a body, always somehow crossing paths with Threepwood. It makes me smile when I think about it. This was the most recent entry on my list, and it actually goes to two skeletons, Sans and Papyrus from Undertale. Papyrus is the older brother whose personality is very gullible. However, this leads to some great comedy moments when he gets involved in the game's story. His brother Sans, in my mind, is like Murray, always looking for a laugh even if it annoys people. He is best known for his one-liners. If the player decides to do a non-genocide run, they will really get to know these two. Some great moments are when you go on a date with Papyrus, or when you chill out with Sans at Gilby's. For characters who don't even have a single bit of voice acting, it is amazing to understand their personalities so well, which even bigger games fail to do with top dollar voice recordings. Emil makes my number one spot, and boy will I have a hard time explaining him to you guys without spoilers. So here is your spoiler warning for this video. Emil from Nier is by far the skeleton that I have cared about the most in any video game, and I swear I cried at certain events in the game involving Emil. Emil is not the luckiest boy. He's first introduced as a blind boy who is strong-willed that lives in a mansion tended to by a butler. Later on in the game, it is discovered that Emil is a test subject along with his sister, and that his sole purpose in life is to stop his sister, who is known as the ultimate weapon, if she goes out of control. This of course happens, and it's up to Emil to sacrifice himself to stop it. In doing so, he gets devoured by his sister. However, he gains control of his sister's body, becoming the skeleton we all know and love. From this point on, Emil becomes a friend of Nier's and helps him continue his own adventure. However, Emil bonds too much with Nier, and later in the game makes another noble sacrifice, this time an even more dramatic sacrifice. In the final showdown of the game, the bad guy stops Nier and his friends from escaping. Emil, knowing there is no way to stop it without sacrificing his life, he forcefully sacrifices himself to allow Nier and his friends to escape. There are parts I have left out, as if I go on too much, this video will be too long. Emil is just a great skeleton. He looks cool, he acts cool, is even more of a man than what I would consider Nier. I just love him, and if you haven't played the game, I highly recommend it. It is one of the hidden gems of last generation, and I highly recommend anyone with an Xbox or a PlayStation 3 to go play this game. So that's it, guys. This has been my top 10 skeletons in video game history. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Thank you for sticking along for so long. I just wanted to take a time to make a list that isn't just the most known skeletons, you know. I wanted to take my time, select some really well designed and well made skeletons for you guys to see. And there's some you probably didn't know in here, and there was probably some that you did know. So hopefully you found some new games, hopefully you found some new awesome designs and so on. If your skeleton did not show on the list though, please leave a comment in the comment section to let me know what your favourite skeleton is. But thanks for watching, and I promise you I will be releasing more videos relatively soon.